I pulled into the driveway of what used to be our family home, the one with the crooked mailbox Dad never got around to fixing, and the big oak tree in the front yard that we all climbed as kids. It was a crisp fall afternoon in suburban Ohio, leaves crunching under my tires, the air smelling like wood smoke and distant rain. I'd driven 3 hours from Columbus after getting a cryptic text from my younger sister, Emily. "Mom's got big news. Come home this weekend?" I hadn't been back in months. Life as a 32-year-old graphic designer with a small apartment and a cat kept me busy, and honestly, the family dynamics had always been uneven. Emily was the baby, the one who could do no wrong, golden child through and through, straight A's without trying, cheerleader in high school, the full-ride scholarship to nursing school. Mom doted on her endlessly. Me? I was the middle kid, reliable Alex, the one who mowed the lawn without being asked and helped Dad with taxes every year. But somehow I always felt like the spare part. Mom greeted me at the door with a hug that lingered a little too long, her eyes bright in that forced way. Emily was already in the living room, sitting on the couch with her husband, Mark, and their 2 kids playing on the floor. Dad was in his recliner, quiet as usual, nursing a coffee. "Sit down, honey," Mom said, patting the spot next to her. "We have something exciting to tell you." I sat, heart already sinking a bit. Exciting news in this family usually meant something that benefited Emily. Mom beamed. "We've decided to downsize. Your dad and I are getting older, and this house is just too much to maintain. So, we sold it." The room spun for a second. Sold it? This house? The one we'd lived in since I was 5? The house with my height marks on the kitchen door frame? The backyard where we had every birthday party? "Okay," I said slowly, trying to keep my voice steady. "That's big. Where are you moving?" Mom glanced at Emily, who was smiling softly. "Well, that's the best part. Emily and Mark need more space. The kids are getting bigger, and their place is cramped. So we sold the house to them for a really good price, and we're moving into the mother-in-law suite they're adding on in the back." Emily nodded enthusiastically. "It's perfect. The kids can stay in the same schools, and Mom and Dad will be right there if we need help with anything." I stared at them. The words hung in the air like smoke. Sold. To them. Without a word to me. "Wait," I said, my voice quieter than I intended. "We sold our childhood home to Emily and didn't think to mention it to me at all?" Mom waved a hand dismissively. "Oh, sweetie, it's not like that. We didn't want to burden you. You're so busy in the city, and Emily's right here. It makes sense for family to keep it in the family." Dad cleared his throat, but didn't say anything. He never did when Mom was on a roll. I looked at Emily. "Congrats on the new house," I managed, but it came out flat. She had the grace to look a little uncomfortable. "Thanks, Alex. We thought you'd be happy. It's staying with us." Happy. Right. That night, I stayed in my old bedroom, the one they'd turned into a guest room years ago, with generic beige walls and no trace of my posters or trophies. I lay awake listening to the familiar creaks of the house settling, the ones I'd known since childhood, and I felt this deep, aching loss, not just for the house, but for the illusion that I mattered the same. The next morning, over breakfast, Mom chattered about paint colors and how excited it was to be closer to the grandkids. Emily talked about renovations, knocking out a wall here, updating the kitchen there. I nodded along, but inside, something hardened. I drove home that Sunday with the radio off, replaying every slight over the years. The way Emily got the new car at 16, while I got Dad's old truck. How Mom flew to Emily's graduation, but couldn't make it to mine because of a bad cold. The birthday cards with $100 for her and $20 for me. It all clicked into place. I was never the priority. A week later, I got a call from Mom. "Alex, honey, we need your help signing some papers, just a formality for the title transfer." I paused. "What papers?" "Oh, you know, since the house was in all our names after your grandma passed." "No, wait, it wasn't. Dad and I own it outright." Grandma left it to Mom alone, actually. But in that moment, I realized they didn't need my signature for anything. They were just including me out of guilt? No, I said calmly. I don't think I will. Silence on the line. What do you mean? I mean, you made this decision without me. The house where I grew up, full of my memories too, and you sold it to Emily like I don't exist. So no, I won't sign anything to make it easier. Mom gasped. Alex, this is family. Emily needs this. Emily always needs things, and she always gets them. I'm done pretending that's fair. I hung up before she could argue more. The fallout was immediate. Texts from Emily, "You're being selfish. The kids love this house." Calls from Mom, alternating between tears and anger. "How can you do this to your sister after everything we've done for you?" Dad finally called. His voice was tired. "Son, just sign. It's not worth the fight." "That's the thing, Dad. It is worth it to me, because no one fought for me." I went no contact after that. Blocked numbers, muted group chats. It hurt, like grieving a death. But slowly, the pain shifted to clarity. Months passed. I heard through a cousin that the good price was way below market, basically a gift. Emily got a massive upgraded home. Mom and Dad got free babysitting and a built-in retirement plan. And me? Nothing. Not even a heads up. One day, about a year later, I got an email from Mom. Subject, "We miss you." In it, she wrote about how hard it was with the kids running around all the time, how Emily and Mark argued more now that they're tied to the big house, how she regretted the rushed decision because property taxes were higher than expected. She ended with, "Maybe we can talk. Family is everything." I read it twice, then deleted it. I didn't respond, because family isn't everything when it's one-sided. These days, I rent a cozy place in the city, travel when I can, and build a life that's mine. The childhood home is gone, sold off to favor one sibling, like so many stories I've read since. But I've learned something important. Peace comes from walking away from people who never saw your worth. Sometimes the real inheritance isn't a house. It's the strength to say no when you've been invisible for too long. And if you're reading this, going through something similar, the quiet exclusion, the blatant favoritism, know that you're not alone. Reflect on what you deserve. Share if it helps. And remember, cutting ties isn't always loss. Sometimes it's freedom.